Hey everyone, Jeff here. It's another day and another story about retail killing physical media dying. We need to set the story straight here and talk about some of this overreaction to the recent news from Target that they are pulling out of physical media, because that news is really not entirely true. It's not really news at all, and it's not really anything new either. So you may have seen some articles. I don't know if others in the community have already started talking about it on YouTube, because I've been busy with work the last week or so. I haven't really had a time to check in, but I got an article on my Google Trends. I saw this on Twitter. I saw it trending on a couple different social media platforms, Reddit, and the whole story again being that, Target is, originally the story was Target's going to be done with physical media both in stores and online in 2025. Now, that turned out to be false. Target is not done in stores and is also not done online, as confirmed by Target responding to all of this kind of frenzy. And I think it was 6 months ago or so that I made a video about both Target and Best Buy and the changes that were coming to physical media, and how they weren't, well, Best Buy was stopping, carrying physical media, but Target wasn't. But again, 6 months ago, the news was that they were done, they were stopping. And now 6 months later, we're getting the same story again, that Target is done, they're stopping, and it's just not the case. Target's response was basically this: we are going to carry a select group of physical media releases in our stores, and we will continue to sell physical media online. Now, if you've been into a Target at any point over the last year, that's what they've already been doing. So this is why I say it's not news in any way. This is not new. It's not breaking news. None of this is new to us. If you've gone into a Target in the last year, it's definitely shrunk. The media section has shrunk. Movies have shrunk down. It's not what it used to be, but you'll still go in. I was in a Target today. You'll see Oppenheimer. You'll see, big major releases, new release stuff. I saw a DVD box set for Parks and Recreation. I saw a couple recent horror movie releases, a couple recent blockbusters, some of the bigger studio stuff. Like, if you walk into a Target, that's all still going to be there. They're going to figure out what sells and what has the most mass appeal, and they're going to put it in their really, truthfully, very small media section, but it's still going to be there. And if you go online, Target still carries like just about everything. They just had a buy two, get the third one free sale that applied to everything online and in store. And if you search on their website, you'll find Criterion Collection stuff. You'll find Shout Factory and Scream Factory, different boutique labels. You'll find all the major releases. You'll find Steel, it's all there. So I don't really know what the big frenzy was about, other than it feels like our community lately is just kind of screaming sometimes at the clouds anytime that a little bit of news comes out about physical media changing. And the reality is that the world is changing, business is changing. You're going to see more direct sales. You're going to see groove.com. You're going to see places like Arrow and Shout and Criterion doing more sales just through their website. Vinegar Syndrome already essentially sells only direct through their site, and all their partner labels sell through their site. You're going to see Diabolic DVD and Orbit DVD and Hamilton Book and some of these smaller boutique kind of online retail sites pick up the slack, and they're going to sell things. But the reality is, it's not a super profitable business. You could ask any of those people who run those sites. It's not super, super profitable. Nobody is getting filthy rich off of physical media. And so to put it in retail stores with really small profits, I get why they're cutting it back, and you're just not going to see it, and it's going to move online. Even for Target, you have a warehouse full of stuff. You can keep them on the shelves. If somebody does buy it, boom, you can ship it out, and it's easy. But that's why it works as an e-commerce business much better than a retail business in 2024. It's just not what it used to be. You have to think that sales numbers have to be pretty small for Target not to be carrying as much in store. Because let's take a look at some Target numbers. And this might surprise you, but this is what they're selling in other categories throughout the year. So I'm pulling up some numbers right now from Statista, which is one of the most well-known statistic aggregate sites. They do a ton of market research. And they've got the numbers for 2023. Target numbers, sales numbers. In 2023, Target sold $31 billion in beauty and household essentials. That's a key. They sold almost $24 billion in food and beverage, hence why a lot of your Targets have bigger like grocery sections. They sold $17.7 billion in home furnishings, $16.5 billion on apparel, and $16 billion on hard lines. Now, hard lines is a pretty broad category. That $16 billion for hard lines includes like sporting goods, it includes consumer electronics, it includes a lot of different categories. So if you just look at that, right, they did $16 billion in hard lines, which is their smallest major category. And of that category, how much of that was actually home entertainment and physical media? I mean, I'd venture to guess like a good week for physical media sales at a Target is $1,000. That would be 50 discs sold a week at $20, 100 discs sold at an average of $10. And per store, that probably feels right. I mean, I would love to break these numbers down some more, but let's even go crazy. Let's even say that they make $2,000 a week, that they're selling a couple of hundred discs a week at Target in-store sites. And Target essentially has just about 2,000 stores in the US. The most recent number was like 1958. So we'll call it 2,000. 2,000 stores doing $2,000 a week. If you do $2,000 a week, you're doing that times 52. You're doing $104,000 a year. So just call it $100,000 times 2,000 stores. They're doing $200 million in physical media sales. This is just a rough guess by me, and I think those numbers might even be high. Let's talk about that now. $200 million in physical media sales sounds like a lot, but they've done $16 billion in their hardlines category, which is where that would fall, which is a drop in the bucket of $16 billion. And it's certainly nowhere close to their beauty stuff, their clothing lines, their home furnishings. Tiny, tiny drop in the bucket for this massive retail business. They're just not selling enough to justify all the floor space. If you could make more floor space for beauty, apparel, or home furnishings, or grocery space, you're going to make more money as Target. And we can get into like corporations only doing things for greed and for profit. But at the end of the day, everybody's running a business. It's a capitalist world, and they have to maximize their floor space. They have these massive retail stores that cost them a ton of overhead. And if they're using a significant section of their store to hold movies that are selling $200 million a year instead of beauty or grocery, which are selling $20 to $30 billion a year, it's a pretty hard sell to a company to keep carrying that. So obviously they're going to minimize it as much as they can, only put the best selling stuff in and put the rest of the stuff online where there's no overhead really other than some warehouse storage, put it in a box and ship it out. And like, that's what they'll do. It's just not, Target is not a store that does physical media. It's not. People go to Target for groceries and for home stuff and for, just your everyday, your beauty and, basic healthcare stuff, your toothpaste, you go in, it's an all-in-one store, and that's the clientele that you're getting. This is much less egregious than Best Buy pulling out of physical media, where you obviously have a direct tie-in to a lot of the people who are coming to Best Buy. That ties into, your Magnolia home theater and your whole business. You sell TVs, you sell players, you sell sound bars and audio equipment. You have Magnolia. Like, this is a lot less egregious than that. The Target, in my eyes, they're just simply making a business decision. They've made that decision a year ago because this is not new news. This is not breaking news. And I don't really know what the big deal is. I understand people want to shop in person, but it's nice to say that, but if you really explore most people's shopping habits, they've gone online. And I trust me, I love like a Bull Moose where I can walk in. And if they can make that and keep it profitable, that's awesome. I want to walk into those local video stores, but a Target with 2,000 locations isn't going to do it. A Bull Moose with 12 locations, or Orbit DVD with a location or two, or, Vinegar Syndrome in their archive locations, which they have like 3 of, or Diabolic DVD, which just does stuff online. Like, their overhead and stuff, it's a lot different than Target. If they can make it work, that's great. I would rather buy from those people anyway, because they understand collectors. They know what we want. They're going to keep things in good shape. But at this point, realistically, I think your best bet for physical media going forward is to find that local store, to hit up pawn shops or places like that have used media, or Walmart. Walmart's really the last one standing. They have had a big focus on physical. They're going to continue to have a big focus on physical media. They want that to be a major play for them, it seems, at least for some of the major stuff, and to nail that collector market now, knowing that, Target is 90% out the door, but still doing it, and Best Buy is 100% out the door. Walmart's going to be picking up the slack. And so you go to Walmart for the stuff, or you find a local store, or you go online. That's for a lot of things in 2024. This is not unique to physical media. There are a lot of different things that, used to be in retail stores, used to be, something you had to physically shop for, that have now moved almost entirely online. And I think that's just the reality of the world we live in, whether you like it or not. But personally, I just want to have the stuff show up to my house. So, I can read reviews and watch videos and get an idea of what I'm buying, and purchase it from a place like Orbit or Diabolic or Bull Moose or Hamilton Book, or somebody who understands it's going to be packaged well and sent to my house in a box that's protected. Like the guys who get it. And I'd rather buy from them. Support a local business, support a small business versus a Target, and, just better service, better support, and they get it. They get us. And either way, whether I walk out of a Target with it or I order it online, it's going up on my shelf. So I don't really care how it gets here and gets to my house, as long as it ends up on the shelf and I can enjoy it at some point. So that's it. Just wanted to cover this. I hate to even call it news. It's really not news. I don't really know why this resurfaced. Target had to make a statement. It's kind of the same old, but those are my thoughts on it. I hope that helps. I don't think there's no freak out needed. There's going to be plenty of places to buy physical media. It's just the way you buy may be changing, but the way you buy everything is changing. Just keep that in mind. Physical media is not the only thing that is being affected by the changes in the world and supply chain issues and e-commerce becoming more popular and people wanting things, shipped to their house, the convenience of all of that versus getting up and going to a store. The world's changing. Physical media is adapting to those changes, and so are the big retailers. So thanks for watching. You want more content like this, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. All those links will be in the description and right here in the QR code, so check it out there. And don't miss the new podcast, House of 1,000 Movies. It'll be hitting here on YouTube. It'll also be hitting Spotify and all your audio platforms. So make sure you check that out. The first episode goes live on May 1st of 2024. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and stay healthy out there. And I'll talk to you all soon.